And why do you use Foursquare in particular?
Okay, well,
What is it? Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll start with
What is it?
we'll start with Foursquare and go to some of the other things because actually they're all different applications and they do different things.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Foursquare. Foursquare is something that is really taking the country and businesses by storm right now. They've started at South by Southwest 2 years ago in '09. They came and pretty much dominated the whole conference if you've ever been down there and launched their product. And this year they were even stronger than the year before, I think, and totally put their mark on the world. There are some other programs out there that are very similar to it that a lot of people use. One is Gowalla. They are based here in Texas, down in Austin. So it was actually quite a thing to see Foursquare come into town. And actually, in my opinion, I'm no expert, but they really blew Gowalla out of the water for being a Texas-based company. And you've also got companies, some newer ones like Whirl. There's one out there called Looped. They're all basically the same thing. They're location-based programs or apps, as you want to call them. Pretty much, you don't have to have an iPhone to use it. You can have a BlackBerry. You can have
Windows, basically.
I have to check, but you pretty much you go to Foursquare's website and it shows you all the phones that you can download their app on it and use it. And I want to say I'm no expert by them, and I'm not their pitch man by any means, but I think it really started out as kind of a game people can play with your friends. You check in where you go.
And it's good. I guess does it automatically do it? I got a feeling.
Well,
it's like GPS
when it first started out, it was more of a nighttime activity. They wanted people after work, all the socialites on the weekends. To basically, you play with your friends. You can tell them where you're at, where you're going, what you're doing, and you got points for doing so. Every time you checked in, you got a point. If you created a new location because no one's ever been there before, you got 5 points. If it's someplace you've never been before, you got 5 points. So the object was to get all these points, and at the end of the week, you can brag to your friends, "Hey, I got 300 points, and you've got 2."
Well, how does that help a business?
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll tell you how it. I'll tell you how
My mind
it's.
is just going, yeah. But
I'll tell you how it's slowly evolving.
Yeah.
So it started out as a little bit of a game, right? And then what you can do is the more you check into the same place, you become the mayor, which you can footnote that for later. We'll talk about mayorships a little bit later and how businesses are exploiting that. So once you become a mayor, it's kind of like, hey, I'm the mayor of Celebrity Radio. Right now, I just created the location today, so I checked in one time, and then basically, I'm sure the next time I check in here, it'll shoot me out saying I'm the mayor of the place, unless you guys start playing along and beat me to it.
I guess I need to get on there. Yeah.
So it started out as a game. You also get the mayorships. It also has badges, what we call badges. So every time you do an activity or a certain place, you can get these things called badges.
Now I know what they've been talking about.
Right. So you earn a badge by doing. Starbucks has a Starbucks badge you can get. You go to 5 different locations, check into 5 different Starbucks locations, and you get a little thing that looks like the cup of their coffee and says what you won the Starbucks badge. And different places are doing things like that to help promote their businesses, sort of say. So it has evolved from being a nighttime activity, and the points reset every Sunday at midnight. So every week you get to start fresh.
You have the chance to
earn more points next week. Maybe you're not going out as much that week.
So if people checked in with your business a lot, you could give them a T-shirt.
You could.
Like
yes, you
Starbucks
could.
gives them a
That-
coffee
that-
cup.
You could.
Coffee.
Okay.
So now what people are doing is that you can play all day long. It's not just a nighttime event. Foursquare got kind of smart and said, why should we limit this, during the nighttime? So you can check in all day now and get points. Before you got no points for doing it during the day. So yes, businesses right now are utilizing it in a manner where they're giving incentives. If you're the mayor, you get $1 off our coffee. If you're the mayor, you get
Can you be knocked off the mayorship?
You sure can.
Okay.
You could be mayor and have checked in like 5 or 6 times, and then when I hit number 7, which is one more than you, I knock you off. And it becomes a competition then, because then you want to run back to that same place every day and claim your mayorship. So it's kind of a neat activity.
But do you have to be there, or can people just do it from home? I mean, do you have to be at the location?
When it first started, there were couch surfers. People, we called them. They sat in their house and basically said, "Hey, I'm at Starbucks or I'm at McDonald's," when actually they were sitting on their couch. Well, now there's Foursquare's gotten actually pretty smart, and they're using GPS tracking. So there's actually a block that says, no, you're not there. We're showing you 1,000 miles away. So it doesn't count. You can check in, but you don't get any points towards the mayorship, and you don't get any points towards your thing during the week. So
okay, well, that's fair. That's fair.
Right. So they've kind of cut that down a little bit. And now you've got companies doing cross promotions like McDonald's. If you're the mayor of McDonald's, McDonald's has their own incentive as well as they give you $1 off something at Starbucks. So companies are doing cross promotions. So
well, that's good.
It takes a lot. Everywhere you go, you're checking in and you're playing the game, and you can see where your friends are if you leave the automated ticker on. Every time someone checks in, it pops up like a text message on your phone and says so-and-so's here, so-and-so's here. So if you happen to be in the neighborhood and you know your friend just checked in at the local corner bakery or something, you could pop in on them and say, hey, I just saw you're here. I thought I'd say hello. Haven't seen you in a while.
Well,
that's great.
And I think that I've been watching my business contacts on Facebook, and what it does is it also is I'm tweet challenged because I don't know what to say. But I mean, if you only go one place a day, that's at least one tweet that goes out.
Yes, because you can hook the Foursquare up to your Twitter and Facebook and even LinkedIn, and you can combine it so that when you check in, it sends a blast out to all your social networks where you are. So, if you have friends on Facebook but not Twitter or LinkedIn or wherever it is, it's going to tell everybody where you're at.
Yeah, and at least they're always talking about giving some information, like people want to know where I am, really. But I can think of Liz and Natalie, my Uptown girls. That would be great for them to use. But
yeah, that's good. I see a lot of potential there.
Right.
Okay, I had no idea what Foursquare was about, so now I have a much better understanding.
And more and more businesses, I advise them using social media and developing strategies for marketing companies. We always advise them to get on it, and once you get on it, work with your other marketing avenues to exploit it. So like your ladies doing the Uptown weekly thing, talking about all the places they're going and the hot spots. I mean, theoretically, from a marketing perspective, in my mind, I'm sitting here thinking, wow, that'd be a great idea. If you already know ahead of time where you're going and you know that they're on their social networks, you could drive traffic to that place just by giving a shout out on your show, and then they should be doing the same thing, and then you've got everybody involved giving the shout outs, and then they say, tonight only. I mean, in restaurants it works it's phenomenal with. They're really good, and even better than the restaurants are the nightclubs and type of thing. They thank you for plugging me in, by the way.
You're welcome.
Now I have this
I just
echo
realized.
in my ear.
You can unplug it if you
No,
want
that's
to.
fine. So restaurants can get quite a lot of value out of the Foursquare check-ins, especially if they offer an incentive. And one other cool thing is you can write Foursquare and say, hey, I want a custom badge, so that people can earn something. You make them check in 5, 6, 10 times, and they can earn a badge. So.
But it is hooked to kind of a GPS type of
thing. It is. So they know when people check in.
Automatic, where it will automatically send it out if you say this is an automatic spot when I go there, send this out.
Yep.
Well, that'd be good for wayward husbands.
So let me ask you a question about how many people are on Foursquare. You've got about 400 million on Facebook. How does Foursquare compare?
I don't know exact numbers. I probably should have looked that up before we came, but I know for a fact when we were South by Southwest this last spring that they had over 300,000 people on at that particular time. And so people were blasting out where they're at, what parties they're going to, whether they're, they implemented their own little 16 badge system that you had to do certain things while you're at the conference to earn badges. So people were running around like a scavenger hunt trying to earn badges and find the different places. And there's all kinds of things you can do. You just got to contact them and say, hey, I want to be super creative, and they'll work with you and help you promote your brand.
Well, and unfortunately, I thought at the end, because I get a lot